This video is about line lists. We'll discuss their purpose, how they are generated, the types of data typically included, and their use in outbreak investigations. Then, we will apply this information to an example outbreak investigation to demonstrate how to create a line list and how one can be used throughout an investigation. The examples in this video will focus on enteric disease outbreak investigations, but the principles discussed can be applied to clusters or outbreaks of any communicable disease. Line lists facilitate quick data summarization, trend identification, descriptive analyses, and the creation of epidemic curves in outbreak investigations. Epidemiologists and other public health professionals also use line lists to recognize missing data, errors, and potentially informative outliers. They are typically populated with the information available at the beginning of an investigation and are updated with new relevant data as it is collected. This information can lead to the generation of hypotheses that guide outbreak investigation processes. While line lists can be created on paper, they are more commonly made in an electronic platform like Excel or EpiInfo. This allows for information to be easily modified or updated. Additionally, data summarizations and visualizations can be generated quickly, which is important in an outbreak investigation. The information included in line lists differ for every investigation because the details of every outbreak investigation are unique. They often contain some similar categories of information, including administrative, laboratory, demographic, clinical, and epidemiological. However, the specific variables will differ depending on the factors such as investigation context, potential associated exposures, and the suspected pathogen. Typically, a line list only contains information from ill individuals associated with an outbreak. However, in certain circumstances, such as when conducting an analytic study, well individuals may also be included. In these situations, it is important to have a column that distinguishes ill and well individuals. An additional important consideration when choosing what administrative and demographic information to include in a line list is patient confidentiality. It is best to refrain from using patient names in your line list to maintain patient confidentiality. Using unique identifiers is a great alternative to using patient names. Even when using unique identifiers, though, the line list may include other potentially identifying information, so it needs to remain secure in order to protect patient privacy. This is an example of a basic line list that an epidemiologist may start with at the beginning of an outbreak investigation. Each horizontal row represents a single individual associated with the outbreak. Each vertical column represents a variable of interest or characteristic related to the individual listed in the row. The contents of the columns will depend on the details of the investigation. As information is obtained throughout the investigation process, rows and columns may be added or removed from the line list in order to reflect the unique details of the investigation. For example, consider this subset of a line list. After discovering that multiple individuals associated with an outbreak under investigation ate a breakfast burrito at the same local cafe, a case investigator may decide to add variables to their line list related to breakfast burritos. They may include new columns indicating whether ill individuals ate at the cafe during the period of interest, ate a breakfast burrito, and if so, the type of burrito and the ingredients, including garnishes and condiments, in each type of burrito for sale at the cafe. After adding new columns representing the specific food items, the case investigator may retroactively add available interview data corresponding to the new fields. If these questions weren't previously asked, the investigator may interview or, if necessary, re-interview the involved individuals to obtain necessary information to complete the new fields. The data in the columns were added in a closed-ended yes-no question format. In line lists, data are typically captured in a closed-ended format through yes-no or multiple choice questions to allow for quick quantitative analyses. The exception to this is the notes column, which can be helpful to capture additional information that isn't amenable to the closed-ended format. Overall, line lists are an important tool for quickly organizing, visualizing, and analyzing data during an outbreak investigation. Let's apply this information using an example enteric illness outbreak investigation. We will base this on a case study generated by the Colorado Integrated Food Safety Center of Excellence, or Food Safety COE for short, called 3 Steps into HOP, a beginner case study based on a local foodborne illness outbreak at a polka dance festival. An epidemiologist from the El Paso County Public Health Communicable Disease Program received a phone call from the president of a polka dance club, Joy Johnson. Joy was calling on behalf of the dance club members who reported becoming ill following the annual Hippity Hop Dance Festival. After concluding that an outbreak investigation should be conducted, El Paso County Public Health contacted some of the potentially ill individuals from Joy's list to learn more about their illness and the event. The epidemiologist knew that they would need a good way to be able to quickly summarize and analyze the data they would receive from the interviews. So they decided to set up a line list. We are going to create a line list as part of the investigation of the foodborne illness outbreak reported at the Hippity Hop Dance Festival. We will be using Microsoft Excel with Microsoft 365 on a Windows computer. There may be small differences in keystrokes or steps if you are using other programs or computer types, but the overall methods will be the same. First, open up Excel and create a new spreadsheet. You will want to title the new spreadsheet descriptively and save it somewhere safe and secure to ensure the confidentiality of any potentially identifying information contained in the line list in order to protect patient privacy. In order to name and save the line list descriptively, we will go to File, Save As. Then we will select the location on a secure work computer where we would like to save the list. For this example, we will select Desktop and the folder called In Progress Outbreak Investigations. We are then going to update the file name to include the document type, event name, and event date so that we can easily find and use the line list later. We will title the Excel spreadsheet Outbreak Line List, Hippity Hop Dance Festival 07/01/2023. Once the location where the spreadsheet will be saved is selected and the spreadsheet is appropriately named, we will hit Save. After saving the spreadsheet, it is time to make the line list shell. First, we will add header names to the first row of the spreadsheet to reflect the information that will be collected and included in the line list as part of the investigation. For this outbreak investigation, we are curious about details related to the ill individuals, such as demographics, laboratory results, illness onset dates, clinical symptoms, and common exposures. Since this outbreak happened at an event with a defined guest list, we are also interested in information on attendees who did not meet the case definition, so we can easily compare the groups. To keep track of which individuals are ill and which are well, we will include a column that indicates whether or not each individual meets the case definition. Based on the interviews with ill individuals conducted by El Paso County Public Health, it becomes clear that the Hippity Hop Dance Festival included a catered dinner. From this information, we become curious about who ate the dinner and if there were any differences between what the ill and well attendees ate. So, in addition to columns included in the list initially, we'll also include a column to capture if the individual consumed the catered dinner served at the Polka Dance Festival or not, Then additional columns will be added to capture whether those who said yes to eating the catered dinner ate each item served or not. Items served included brisket, gravy, mashed potatoes, and coleslaw. Once again, make sure column variables represent closed-ended data types, such as yes/no questions, to expedite data summarization, with the notes column being the exception. Next, in order to make sure that data is entered in a standardized format that allows for quick data summarization, visualization, and analysis, it is helpful to use the data validation tool in Excel to create drop-down menus and rules throughout the table. In our line list, we will highlight the catered dinner attendee column, go to the Data tab, select Data Validation, then under the Allow section, go to List, type yes, no, like this, in the Source section. Make sure In-Cell dropdown is checked, and then click OK. This will ensure that all of our data are entered in only those formats, which will facilitate data summarization, visualization, and analysis. Without the data validation tool, some data may be misspelled, entered as a mix of capitalized and lowercase words, or dates may be entered using different formats, which is not useful for data summarization in Excel. We're going to do the same for each column representing the food items served at the catered dinner and GI symptoms. Another helpful data management option is freezing the top row of the spreadsheet. This can be especially useful for large data sets so that the headers remain visible while scrolling through the spreadsheet to make sure that the data are being entered in the proper columns. This can be done by highlighting row 1, clicking on the View tab, then Freeze Panels, then selecting Freeze Top Row. Now that the shell for our line list is set up, it is ready to be populated. We can add the administrative, demographic, symptom, laboratory, and exposure data collected by El Paso County Public Health during their interviews with the IL Hippity Hop Dance Festival attendees. Using the populated line list, there are a number of methods that can be used to organize, summarize, and analyze line list data. Epicurves and age distribution plots are very helpful data visualization tools that can be created from a line list. While we won't demonstrate these in this video, another food safety COE video on how to generate an epicurve from a line list can be found at the link. Line lists can also be used to obtain frequency data related to symptoms, exposures, and other variables that can play a vital role in determining investigation steps. To start, we can sort the list so individuals are grouped according to their case status and attendance at the festival on Friday. Let's take a look. First, select the whole dataset like so. Then navigate to the Data tab, select Sort. First, make sure the My Data Has Headers checkbox in the top right corner of the screen is checked. Then, in the column section, select the column that represents whether or not the individual is a case to sort by. Then, in the Sort On section, select Cell Values. Next, in the Order section, select Z to A. Then select Add Level in the upper left-hand corner. In the second row of criteria in the column section, select the column that represents responses to the question about whether they attended the festival on Friday or not, which is listed as attended Hippity Hop Dance Festival on Friday, ? In the Sort By section. Then in the Sort On section, select Cell Values. And finally, then make sure the Order section is listed as A to Z, then hit OK. As you can see, the line list has now been reordered so that the individuals who meet the case definition are at the top of the list, and those who do not meet the case definition are at the bottom. Within those groups, those who reported not attending the polka dance festival on Friday are grouped at the top of the list, and individuals who did attend are grouped at the bottom. Now that the line list has been ordered, we can see that all of the ill individuals attended the festival on Friday. We may want to calculate the proportion of ill individuals who ate the catered dinner and became ill. In order to do so, we can calculate counts using a count-if formula to produce an automatic count for the number of yes and no responses to the question about catered dinner consumption. Since we are interested in only the ill individuals right now, we can start by hiding the non-cases included in this line list. To do that, select the rows that correspond to non-cases, right-click, and select Hide. To unhide the rows, select the row above and below the hidden rows, right-click, and select Unhide. We're going to leave the non-cases hidden for now. Back to counting. First, choose an open cell on the Excel spreadsheet. Type an equal sign, then in capital letters, type the phrase count if. Next, select the cells in the catered dinner column corresponding to ill individuals. In quotes, type the word yes, close the parentheses, and hit enter. In the empty cell below, we can do the same thing, but replace the word yes with the word no. This will leave us with a summary of the counts of ill individuals who reported consuming the catered dinner and not consuming the catered dinner. These numbers can be used to quickly calculate the proportion by typing an equal sign into an empty cell, then selecting the cell corresponding to ill individuals who ate the catered dinner, and dividing by the sum of those who did and didn't eat the catered dinner. As we can see, all of the attendees who became ill ate the catered dinner, which is also evident from the counts. The same process can be followed in order to calculate the proportion of ill individuals who reported consuming each food item served at the catered dinner. For example, choose an open cell in the Excel spreadsheet, type an equal sign in capital letters. We will write the phrase count if, select the rows that align with the ill individuals who ate the catered dinner in the brisket column. Then, in quotes, type the words yes and hit enter. Below, we can repeat this again to count the no's. Do the same thing for the other food columns as well. Then, to calculate the proportion of ill individuals who ate each food item, we can divide the count who ate the food by the number of ill individuals who attended the catered dinner. As you can see, when calculating the frequency data associated with each food item served at the Hippity Hop Dance Festival shared dinner, 26 or 100% of the ill people ate the dinner. 25 or 96% of the ill people ate brisket. 25 or 96% of the ill people ate gravy. 26 or 100% of the ill people ate mashed potatoes. And 21 or 81% of the ill people ate coleslaw. When an outbreak investigation involves a cohort or case control study, additional calculations can be done to help identify the source of the outbreak. To learn more, see the online interactive food safety COE case study link. When comparing the frequency data, we see that everyone who ate the dinner and mashed potatoes became ill. Using these results to generate a preliminary hypothesis, the El Paso County public health epidemiologist may decide to further explore mashed potatoes as a potential source of illness. They might also decide to review the literature to see if mashed potatoes have been implicated in prior outbreaks, or they may ask the individuals in charge of preparing the dinner for a list of ingredients used when preparing the mashed potatoes, and for any purchase details like old receipts or shopper card numbers, which can be useful if traceback activities become necessary. They could also let the environmental health personnel know they suspect mashed potatoes may have caused the outbreak, which could help environmental health target their environmental assessment of the caterers and venues' kitchens. Despite the adaptability and utility of line lists discussed thus far, it is important to note that obtaining frequency data from a line list is not alone sufficient to make conclusions about the culprit of an outbreak. However, these data, alongside other clues and evidence, may help determine the source of an outbreak. Line lists themselves and the ways in which they can be used are an essential tool that is vital to the enteric outbreak investigation process.